Meeting in heaven. Efiênia, still very young, married Baldino since they had been dating since teenagers. Everyone said they would make a happy family. She was a very graceful young woman. She looked like a copy of children's dolls. He affectionately called her Fifi. After a time of marriage, Fifi, through medical examinations, discovered that she could not be a mother. She was worried about her husband's reaction, but he said that this was not something so important. What really mattered was the union and the love that existed between them. The wife was not revolted by this reality. On the contrary, she sought to overflow her maternal feeling in profusion towards everyone who needed her. She was in the habit of visiting relatives and friends and made it a commitment. She had a notebook with the names of all her loved ones and each one's birthday. All were remembered with her pleasant presence. If circumstances did not allow her to attend, she would make an attentive phone call, especially to distant relatives and friends. And she did not stop there. She visited the old people in the nursing home and the sick in the hospital. She was a real friend to everyone. Her face radiated a contagious joy. Being by her side was pleasurable. Visits from her were most welcome and expected. At the beginning of the wedding, Baldino accompanied her to her birthday parties. However, when she extended the invitation to hospitals, nursing homes and other places of assistance, he said, "Fifi, I don't like to see people suffering. But you have my support in everything you need. You know I'm bad even at praying." My dear, when we contribute in some way to alleviate the pain of others, we are the greatest beneficiaries. Jesus told us, "Truthfully, I say to you that when you did it to one of these, my little ones, you did it to me." Fifi, my mind is only on business, not on Jesus. Baldino ceases to be indifferent to the appeals of our fellow men and lets his wife be conducted only in the material aspect. I am stick that was born crooked, and I will die crooked. Tireless, she sought other strategies to make her husband aware and brighten her spirit. She invited friendly people with the same goal to visit her. She read him accounts of work that emphasized beneficence. However, everything was fruitless. He denied his wife's devoted attention in trying to arouse altruistic feelings in him. His only concern was to manage a construction company and established businesses in other cities and sought fleeting pleasures with other female companies. The contractor always said, privately to those closest to him, "I only have one love, Efiênia's. The rest is just pleasure, nothing else." Away from home, Baldino had relationships with several women, and some of them became pregnant. He flippantly abandoned them. He disappeared, offering no moral support or financial help. The contractor had a duality in his personality worth studying. Upon returning home, he returned to being a considerate man and admirer of his wife, as if contact with her awakened good feelings in him. However, far from her, the evil character intensified. After all the escalation of thorny depths, Baldino, at age 60, leaves for the spiritual plane, ending his trajectory on Earth, and with it the opportunity to be good, fair, and honorable. Freed from physical life, man went into suffering with his body heavy in dense vibrations that held the earth to him. He did not understand why he was in that zone of spiritual turmoil. He was in great distress. Now a widow, Efiênia, she felt a great longing for her husband. With everything she had the wise understanding that life did not end at the grave. That God in His immense love gave His children eternal life. Anyway, she continued with her high-purpose life, assisting those in need she met along the way. Until the natural process that everyone goes through, the charitable woman left in peace for a spiritual colony of bliss. There, she joined in new tasks, wanting to be useful as she always had been. However, she was unaware of all of her partner's behaviors. She loved him with a pure heart and asked the mentors to see him. She didn't understand why he wasn't there, in that purified environment, waiting for her. Where would he be? Baldino was also thinking about Efiênia and found himself revolted. He felt that because he was a financial giver that God would reward him, even more for having been married to such a charitable woman. He found himself on a plane of dense vibration with other spirits of the same nature. After all, he acquired a lot of debts. On one occasion, spiritual benefactors went to see him and told him that Fifi had passed away and wanted to see him. On her merits, she found herself in a region of great light, a fact that did not surprise Baldino. I knew Efiênia would be in heaven. That's why I want them to get me out of this hell quickly and take me to heaven where she is. My brother, there is neither heaven or hell, in the proper sense of the word. We are attracted after disembodied by the nature of our feelings and actions. So much so that there are colonies that are spiritual dwellings with all their organization and adventures, as well as there are threshold zones of suffering and anguish. We are the ones we plant. I know my Fifi is now sitting next to Jesus. She was always kindness in person. Baldino, Jesus is a pure spirit of love and inhabits celestial areas, still unattainable for the trial and atonement process of which we spirits are still present. Sitting beside Jesus has the meaning of being a follower of his works, but not in the sense of being spiritually present in the same vibratory field as the Master. Jesus is a spirit far superior to all of us. This is still very difficult to understand for me. My brother, after all these years that you are far from each other, we will promote your meeting with Efiênia. However, it is necessary to prepare yourself in a way that renews your feelings. In our perception, we see that you have abandoned many women and children. In all, 3 women became pregnant. I know I messed up a lot. But away from home, I fell into temptation. However, I always gave money to Efiênia to serve the needy. Yes, your actions in support of her were malicious, but in your individuality you contributed little to your self-improvement. Today we will take you on a tour of the earth. There you will see the situation of each of the women that you abandoned. You have a daughter who, for the lack of resources, did not receive adequate treatment. She is unable to walk. The rich inheritance you left could have been used to benefit her children. And so the benefactors took Baldino on a visit to the woman he forsook. The man was appalled in the penury situation that some found themselves in, and a regret took hold of his heart. The case of Sinara, one of his daughters, was what impressed him the most. He was very shocked to see her so very poorly, confined to a bed and without resources for specialized medical treatment. The girl could not move, since she had suffered a fall in adolescence. She was only 22 years old, and with a sad look of dismay, with no hope of walking again. Baldino, anguished, addresses one of the mentor spirits and, in a tone of prayer, wends, "How can I redeem my mistakes if I find myself here without having a physical body that allows me any action?" Well, it's how it is, my brother. While on earth, you forgot that you had a physical body to act. You sought only pleasures and forgot your duties. Let's see what we can do, but your regret is a good start. When you passed away, Efiênia left a nephew to manage a portion of her property. Evandro was also the beneficiary of your inheritance. He is a man of character. He runs a charity house encouraged by Efiênia. In this house there are several social actions, and there is even free medical care. We will intuit Sinara's mother to take her there for consultation. Evandro has a great spiritual affinity with Sinara, the result of past lives, and will help him a lot. Both will be happy with the reunion. Her daughter is a young woman of good principles, so she is worthy of returning to her toil, so she will regain her health. After all the events, Baldino renews his vibrations and has a clear conscience. Then, yes, the meeting between Efiênia and Baldino was allowed, and they talked a lot. He had the reality of feeling how beautiful and pleasant was the plain inhabited by people who had a pure heart on earth and actions in goodness. He sprouted a great impetus to change for the better and understand all those revelations. Leave the old man and be a new man in good intentions and noble feelings. An unknown force pulsed within him. However, something more awaited him. He was referred to an interview with the tutor entity. Baldino, my brother, we do not always take advantage of the chances that we are offered to us on earth. How many times have we strayed from the right path? There comes a time when, reliving the past, we regret and blame ourselves for the deviations. So it's never too late to start over. God, the Greater Father, offers us reincarnation, which is a new beginning, allowing us to renew. Give yourself that chance. We will make a new schedule for your return to Earth. After some time, he is invited to a dialogue with his spiritual tutors and is very surprised by his reincarnation plan. Baldino, you already regretted it. Now, my brother, it's time for another opportunity to correct your mistakes. First, you will be instructed to return to the earthly orb. Sinara and Evandro will be your parents. Sister, won't I have the presence of Fifi next to me in this new journey? Yes, you will. Efiênia asked us to be your companion again to lead you to good. This time, you will have Sinara and Evandro as allies, as they will be engaged in a wonderful works of actions in charity. From the cradle, you will see your parents committed to helping others, and later, together with Fifi, you will have 3 daughters who were the women abandoned by your negligence. Therefore, they will reject you, and this will bring you much bitterness. Fifi's love for her daughters will help them to clear from the unconscious the great hurt they have filed for you. Keep it safe. Love your family and respect everyone in your path. Only then will you be rehabilitated. Everything you have learned and will learn is for your happiness and spiritual evolution. You will also be a grandfather. Your daughters will give you grandchildren. And you already know 2 of them today are the children you neglected. Go, my brother. Benefactors will prepare you for a new stage in physical life. In a short time, we will come to pick you up for your rebirth. And may Jesus bless you.